When Paul and I were first married, we lived in Auburn, up in the Gold Country, where I was pastoring the Church of God there. In the house we lived in, the second place we lived, it was two houses on 7 acres, and we rented the second house from the landlord that lived on the first house. The landlord liked to have some animals, and in the back pasture for a period of time, he kept about 3 or 4 sheep. Well, we had a white German short hair pointer at the time named Lacey. And Lacey was a very lovable little dog. And we used to take Lacey back into the pasture, but I very well remember the first time we took Lacey to meet the sheep in the pasture. Now, Lacey was only about the size of some of the smaller sheep, so not especially big. And when Lacey met the sheep, Lacey started walking over to the sheep to say hi. The sheep turned around and took off running across the pasture, and I'll never forget what they did. Running full speed, they ran boom straight into the fence at the other end, bounced off it, and then scattered wildly. The strange thing was, the second time we took Lacey back there, they decided to maybe try another course after scattering, and when they got near, they decided they liked Lacey. She used to lick their noses. There was no threat that Lacey had, but they panicked. They took off. That tells me that in Luke chapter 15, when Jesus says the shepherd goes to seek the lost sheep, the shepherd knows that sheep get skittish, they panic, they take off, they can hurt themselves, and sometimes they're not very smart. There's an author named Philip Keller that wrote a book on Psalm 23, a great book. A shepherd looks at Psalm 23. He even talks how a sheep can sometimes get put on its side, unable to get up, and if not helped, die. Boy, sheep scatter. They don't even have their own best interest in mind. That tells me sometimes people wander from the Lord. They wander from the Lord's flock, the church. They wander from the Lord's ways. They wander from the Lord's protection. But they're not thinking straight. They don't even have their best interests in mind. They panic. They get confused. But the shepherd goes to seek them. Jesus said, we're like sheep that the shepherd is seeking to bring back to the flock. This is your daily devotional for Saturday. I hope you're doing well. Hope you'll pray for the church and pray for me. We've got a wonderful day in church tomorrow, communion, our hamburger luncheon, and 2 baptisms, 2 sheep that the shepherd has found. We're going to rejoice tomorrow with the joy of the Lord because Jesus said right here, Luke 15, there is joy in heaven over one sinner who repents. Come and rejoice tomorrow. And remember the words of Jesus in Luke chapter 11, blessed are those who hear the word of God and keep it. God bless you as you serve him today.